The Colts offense wasn't perfect on Sunday against the Ravens, and they don't have to be perfect against the Rams to go win. You just got to put together a great team effort, and that's what Jim Bob Cooter is all about. I wanted to know about Bernhard Raimann and how his play at left tackle, and here's what I like, and you're going to hear it in his answer. It's not like, oh yeah, Bernhard Raimann's one of the top 3 left tackles in the NFL, and he's playing so well, blah, 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 all that nonsense. It's all about how he's got to get better and how if he gets better, this team has a chance to do some special things offensively, and that goes for everybody across the line. That's how this team communicates with each other. That's how the coaching staff communicates with the team. Coaching staff holding people accountable to raised expectations week after week after week, because it's the improvement that determines how successful they're going to be. Here's Jim Bob Cooter.
Yeah, we knew it was an aggressive defense, knew it was going to be a blitzing defense. You can say all that and know all that without knowing exactly the look or the plan that those guys were going to have, and they had a really good one. Had a really good one that made us adjust, made us sort of have a little bit of a different or a better protection plan, protection ID plan. Kyle Hamilton being down there at nickel and blitzing as much as he did was pretty effective for him early, and it was something that as a coaching staff was something that we felt we needed to address as the game went on. Obviously, he's a really good young player. He's going to make some plays. That's what happens. But I thought our guys did a great job sort of battling through some of those tougher plays. You know, it wasn't a game of perfect plays and perfect drives. It was a battle. It was you know, like Coach said, those guys were kind of relentless, just staying at it. And even with really good young players like Kyle Hamilton making those plays, we were able to kind of keep it going. So.
And one quick follow-up, how do you think, you mentioned it there, but just Gardner mentioned it kind of just helped you all sustain enough to get over the hump and ultimately win the game?
Yeah, he was huge for us. Just doing a bunch of things at the line, in the huddle, on the sideline, communicating things. I thought as a whole overall, our guys really communicated well on the sideline. They would come back and tell us what they're seeing, and could be a way a cornerback's playing or a defensive look, you know. We were getting a little bit more man coverage, and the guys were talking through kind of routes they might like against that. Gardner was heavy into that discussion. We were trying to find positive plays, trying to find completions in the pass game, and Gardner's way into the details on that stuff. So he was great for us. He battled just like I said, the rest of our guys. Like, hey, not a perfect game on the stat sheet or anything, but you know, going into Baltimore against a really good team and a really good defense, and playing in some elements and playing with a tough crowd out there, for our guys to just sort of keep playing, keep showing up, keep moving the ball, and keep fighting back maybe when things didn't go perfect, which they didn't the whole time. I thought was a really good indication of the type of guys we have. And Gardner being one of the leaders of that bunch, especially Sunday.
Kent?
Yeah, Jim Bob, it seems like Raimann's playing at a really, really high level. When you've got a left tackle who's that kind of player, how much easier does that make your job?
Yeah, I think Bernie's been doing a nice job this year. You know, those edges, protecting those edges in this league are vital. So to have, you know, to be able to drop back in that pocket and feel pretty confident that those edges are protected is a pretty good testament to really both our tackles. Both guys are doing a really nice job. But you know, since you singled out Bernie, I'll agree. Bernie's really coming along. He's getting better every week. He's playing good football. He's putting good football on tape. He just keeps coming to work and getting better, and that's how you do it. That's, you know, week 3 is going into week 4 here. We got a nice season ahead of us. We got to keep doing that, all of us. And so far, Bernie's done a nice job starting the season off the right way, and looking forward to him kind of keeping that going.
Joel?
Was it I know some of them didn't get hit, but was it encouraging that there were some shots down the field? You know, Alec open on a couple of them. The defensive back makes the great play at the end of the game on the one, but some balls going down the field. Yeah, good to mix and match where the ball's going, right? It's going to go short a little bit. It's going to go outside, inside a little bit. But it's got to go down the field some too. And you know, Gardner was able to put a couple of those things up. And, you know, in this league, it's those are
those are high leverage plays, but they're tough, man. Those guys make great plays, like you said. Those DBs in this league are unbelievable at some of that stuff. Sometimes you can make the catch and just they knock that thing out before you're able to finish it. But it's a part of what we do offensively. We want to stretch the field. We want to be versatile where we attack. Downfield's usually the most fun. If I'm watching a game on TV, I like when the quarterback throws it deep and that camera's got a pan downfield. Let's see what's going to happen. It's probably a little more exciting for the fan at home. So, we'll continue to take those shots when the time is right. And you're never going to hit 100% of those, and sometimes it becomes a small sample size thing. But the ball is going to go up down the field. That's for sure. How often per game, who knows? But give our guys some chances at it.
Raven?
You mentioned Baltimore and just the talent that they have on that side of the ball. With the Rams, it's not as much proven talent, but you still have to go up against a future Hall of Famer and Aaron Donald. What is it about him that just makes him so tough to defend?
Gosh, he never ever stops, man. He's someone you want to know where he's at every single play. He's someone you want to know where is he lining up, who is he lining up over, how is he getting there, what kind of stunts and games are they using up front to move him around, to move him around after the snap? What are they doing in their pressure game to try to get him one-on-ones or to try to change the look for the offensive line? Those guys do a really nice job of that. Obviously, he's in the Hall of Fame as soon as you can get him in there, and he's playing at that level absolutely right now. He's surrounded by a bunch of guys that are playing pretty good football. They're making it tough on offenses to move the ball. Aaron obviously being someone we need to single out and focus on as a coaching staff, as an offense of kind of knowing where he's at and knowing what he's likely to do. But the guys as good as they come. He's as advertised, if not better. That group around him's a little bit better maybe than is advertised. They're tough over there. So we're gonna have our work cut out for us this week. It ought to be a good ball game. Ought to be a good challenge for our guys, and hopefully go have some fun.
Two more, James.
Bob, obviously Gardner's a mobile quarterback, but how did it change the defensive looks when you don't have that like dynamic running style that Anthony brings that we saw similar like what Lamar Jackson showed?
Yeah, I think, sometimes in the run game, a lot of our runs, maybe the quarterback's not reading somebody to potentially pull it, but some of them they are, right? Some of them Anthony's maybe reading a defensive end, and if he gets the right look, he takes off around the edge. If you're a defense and you're aware of that, you have to sort of back that defensive end up with somebody or have a plan for what happens if that gets pulled. Gardner can do a little bit of that himself, but each guy kind of has their strengths when it comes to that quarterback run game. And obviously Anthony is a different type threat than Gardner. So the defense is able to maybe maneuver their personnel a little bit differently. And, it's nothing crazy, nothing outside the bounds of sort of normal good NFL football. But yeah, we're going to see different looks. We're going to see different looks when Anthony Richardson is in the game than we are Gardner Minshew. I think for sure as a coaching staff, we're aware of that. I think both those quarterbacks individually are aware of that too. And quite frankly, it's one of those things where the defense is aware of that, and we know that they know, and they know, follow that down the path as far as you want to go. But those things do tweak a little bit, and that's part of the game. It's honestly happening at a lot of those positions out there.
And then one quick follow-up, how engaged was Anthony throughout the game? Obviously, he was there, seemed pretty excited, obviously, to get the win in the locker room in the video that we saw. So what was his – I mean, you're coaching one player to play, but the other one's obviously there to learn and get coached as well. He
was good. He was into it. He was helping us out as a coaching staff, helping the quarterback group out just with what he saw. Hey, sometimes as a quarterback, when you've been out there in the huddle at the line – you see a defense one way and you get over to the sideline, maybe you have a little different perspective on them. And he was able to sort of give us a thing or two that he thought he was seeing a little bit of. He was into the game. He was excited. I think he was excited for his teammate. I know he was excited for his teammates making some plays. When that was going on, he was as excited as anybody. So he was really into it. He was good. I think he, sure everybody, wants to get out there when the time is right. But his energy level was great. He was really into the game. So.
Last one, Joel.
From an offense, you've already talked about Bernie, but from an offensive line standpoint, it feels like those five have been pretty darn good in protection through the first three games. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think the offensive line's done a really nice job as a whole this year. Even battling through some injuries, working with a couple different guys out there. Yeah, we had some protection issues last game that I'll take. That's really on me as a coordinator more than it's those guys. They're giving their all out there to protect against, like I said, a really good defense, really good defensive front that has some good rushers. And I thought as a whole we did a really nice job of that at the offensive line position. Those guys are putting together a good start to the season. Like I said earlier, we've got a ways to go in this thing, and we've got to get a lot better. The best teams in this league and the best offenses in this league get a lot better September to October, October to November, and moving forward. So we got to continue that trend. But I'm encouraged by our guys up front.
So that's Jim Bob Cooter, and he kind of lays it out. He tells you guys are who they are right now, but they got to get better. And it wasn't a perfect performance against the Ravens, but you get the win, and that's the important thing. This week, things are a little bit different with the expected return of Ryan Kelly and of Anthony Richardson. We'll see if that comes to pass. They got to practice and then pass the evaluation by an independent neurologist. If they do that, they're back on Sunday, and the Colts just get that much better from there. Maybe a week from Sunday. Dare we even mention the Jonathan Taylor name?